All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We've got lots of positive stuff to talk about today or tonight or whenever you're listening to this. But if you're joining me right now, I am live on all the platforms YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So want you to like and subscribe. For those who are joining me on the replay, hey, still like and subscribe. Why aren't you here for the live? But hey, this is what I want to do too. Seeing as no one's really on here in the chat and wants to talk about baseball, I'm going to get into some Lions talk, some football stuff. Right, we have a quiet weekend. Right, we're not playing until Sunday night. We're this is a primetime game for us. I said in the last episode that I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens. It's going to be a telltale sign on Monday night with Jacksonville, and well, we saw what happened. And they lost. I still can't believe it. They lost in not true Kansas City fashion. Jacksonville beat them on a stumbling play where, well, how about this? Jacksonville beat them on a kind of Kansas City win. Like the way Kansas City would typically win, that's how Jacksonville won. So good for Jacksonville, man. It's nice to see that draft pick, that whole team that was supposed to play out is kind of working out. I really thought that Trevor Lawrence would have clicked by now, but it looks like he's starting to play his type of ball. So that's really awesome. But yeah, when I look at this game though, guys, I see this as an opportunity to take our season to the next level. We already beat Baltimore. That was a big kind of eye test, right? Now Baltimore with Lamar out, not fair to really compare, but hey, we beat Baltimore with Lamar there. The Browns still have the best the defense, close if not to Atlanta Falcons. Statistically, those are the best defenses and they're non-winning teams. So we still put up big money, big numbers on what I'd consider a top 5 defense right now in the NFL. So when we're playing Kansas City, we're just playing a different type of Kansas City, right? We're not playing the Kansas City of old, where the Chris Jones and the defense is absolutely elite. And if Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce take off, you are going to have a really hard time because their defense is that elite. And this is not an elite Kansas City defense. So with us being as healthy and as deep as we are and what we've already seen in that small sample size with Goff and St. Brown and Montgomery and Gibbs, I really feel like this game is one of those games where we can really set ourselves aside and say, okay, we are that team, right? Shit, I got the doc up on here. What's up live on a Wednesday? Yeah, so yesterday was my wife and I's wedding anniversary, so I couldn't do my normal recording that I would post on a Thursday. And with the Tigers just winning, I figured, hey, I'll hop on and do a little double dipski. So yeah, so you just missed probably my little 5 to 10 minute summary of the Tigers winning and what to expect. But as you know, I've already moved on to football. So it's kind of interesting to see where everybody's heads at now that New England beat Buffalo, Jacksonville beat Kansas City, Cincinnati just traded for Joe Flacco, right? Because we murdered Jake Browning. Like, we killed him. Like, I'm sorry, Jake, but the boys beat you up really good, right? So, Houston just wiped the floor with Baltimore without Lamar. It's really going to be an interesting season, the way this whole, next chunk of 5 games moving forward. The powerhouse teams that we thought were for sure shoo-ins look a little iffy, right? And then we've got some ones that are some pleasant surprises, that, in my opinion, right? So we got, I'm going to show something real quick. Try this new thing where I use the screen a little bit more. So just like taking a look at this right now, all right? You've got, and this is why I think this is interesting, you have, we're playing our prime time Sunday night football game of October 12th right here, Lions Chiefs. But this one's really interesting, Bills Falcons. Okay. So the Bills just lost to the Patriots, and you've got the Falcons, who have right now statistically a pretty stout defense, right? Like, what is going on with the Bills, and can the Falcons beat them down? I don't really want to see this happen, right? Like, I've been pumping up Josh Allen, so this is one of those games where I'm talking to do some of these top tier automatic shoe-in teams like the Bills, the Chiefs. Who else is kind of like a shoe-in team? Definitely not the Cowboys. The Eagles, right? They just lost to the Broncos. No disrespect to the Broncos, but if we're going to dethrone an undefeated team, you would kind of assume it would be another powerhouse matchup. So really interesting to see this season. I think it's just the way the defenses are evolving and changing, right? When you're paying these guys 40, $50 million for a pass rushing, and not one of these teams has an elite defense, right? They have elite pass rushers, but you don't see a defense where a couple of years ago you could say, okay, the Bills, their defense was good luck scoring on them, right? The Chiefs, good luck scoring. Baltimore, good luck scoring. You get where I'm heading with this. So it's going to be really interesting from a matchup standpoint. I don't know where everyone's heads at with the defense right now. I personally think there's a lot of opportunity out there to bolster this roster. We're being talked about in some trade talk right now with, these are just names, right? So they're looking like Denzel Ward from Cleveland. There was Trey Wooten from Seattle, another corner. Like, so 2 Pro Bowl style corners that you could go and make an opportunity and go make a run at, right? Then we just saw with the Cincinnati Bengals what we could get out of Trey Hendrickson if we had him. Again, some of these pass rushers are going to take a lot of cap space, or not a lot of cap space, but a lot of budging to get. But I'm looking at Denzel Ward for a conditional 6th pick and a 4th rounder. I'll take that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's at this point, this is all in on the Super Bowl, and with DJ Reed being out for an extended period of time, and Terrion Arnold, I can't even say the fucking guy's name, Terrion Arnold, they gave a second look at his shoulder today and said, I think he'll be coming back sooner than anticipated. But not to knock on the guy, but what are we in a rush to bring back? If we're making a Super Bowl run, and I'm all great with this guy being on our roster moving forward, but if we're making a Super Bowl run and you have a chance to go get a guy like Denzel Ward, shutdown corner, and let Terrion come back from his injury with his low numbers, why rush him, dude? We all know the corner is the hardest position to evaluate, transition from college. Okay, so we're expecting a lot out of him. No shit. Why not protect this Super Bowl year and go out and get a corner? So before we analyze how do we attack Kansas City, Jesus Christ, this is how we attack Kansas City. And then I'll stop. I want to talk more and more about the trade shit, but listen, this is how you take Kansas City. You go out and score a shitload of fucking points. You have to outscore this team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you've got to be the main focal point of that offense. You and Sam Laporta have to eat up the whole entire middle. JMO, this is a game where I think they're still going to use you as a decoy, brother. I really do, because when this is a team that you're playing, and you have to out-scheme them, you're out-scheming them with St. Brown. So expect to see that, right? Expect to see 2 backs on the field a lot. Chris Jones, shit. I hope Taylor Decker, I believe you're still healthy. Let's see if he's coming back, but it's all going to rely on him. This is a game where we need Taylor Decker back for. And right now it says Taylor Decker injury update. Lions is bad news after Giovanni. Okay, hold on. Let me try to find the most updated one. This is going to be the big. Okay, they're not reporting anything. They're not saying anything that I've seen yet, but his absence was felt. This is a game where we're going to need his absence. So we're going to need him, right? So I need to see Taylor Decker coming back. Outside of that, that's the key to the win. Healthy Taylor Decker back on the left tackle. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta right up the middle. We're going to have to out-scheme the shit out of Andy Reid. I want this running game to really, if this was a game where we established the running game right away, this is one, right? So we're going to have to really set the tone. This is in Kansas City. We've beat them there before. We beat them on prime time. It's not that we can't, and it's not that we won't. It's just I want to continue beating these teams the right way, right? These aren't Lions lucky wins. These are undoubtable. Yep, those are really good wins. And that's all I'm saying. I want to protect the integrity of how I'm winning or how we're winning. So don't beat me up too much. But that's my opinion, guys. I don't really think there's much you need to get slice and dice up outside of where do you want to be from a roster standpoint, right? Where do you see yourself on this team, knowing what we saw last year, knowing that injuries are a part of the game, knowing that we have to be prepared, knowing that we can't take anything for granted, and we're just getting now into what, week 5, week 6? It's we're getting into week 6. So it's like, okay, still a long season ahead, but even after this game, we've got this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team who I put on the I didn't know they'd be there fucking list, but they look like a team where just you have to stomp them out until the game is over, and they're going to keep climbing back at you, right? So when I look at our schedule, I look at those two teams back to back, those two games back to back. It's a Sunday night game and it's a Monday night game against two teams that it's kind of flip flopped, right? You would have thought for sure that the Buccaneers, great team, great roster, would have been scuffling and battling to get in and would have been the one where we're like, right? And then Kansas City would have been like, okay, my God, this is the unstoppable team. This is the 4-1, right? Or the almost undefeated. And it's the opposite, right? But you cannot count out Patty Mahomes. You just can't, dude. His best friends are the refs. And when the refs are your best friend, what you going to do? And then I look at the schedule moving forward. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I forgot. We have a Bucks fan on here. Yep, better keep us down if you can't get us. You can't get us down. But seriously, I got to drown you guys. Like, throw you off the ship, tie some concrete to you guys, and like make sure you drown to the bottom of the ocean, because your scrappy ass little quarterback just drives me crazy. So then I'm looking to myself, I get this out of here. I'm thinking, self, you talked about the Bucks, you talked about the Chiefs, but what about the divisional game after that? And then you have the Vikings, right? So a team okay, they're a divisional team, but a team that I'm not as worried about. I don't put them up there in the holy shit category, right? But that's a home game coming off Monday night. And then we have the Commanders, man. Jaden Daniels is healthy again. He's a thorn in our side. And then you spring back us right to the Eagles on primetime. So you just take a look at that chunk right there. And, we kind of handled this chunk, I'd like to say, pretty well, right? We know who the Packers are now, and we know who the Lions are, and I don't think that score represents the current set of both teams. We know the Bears are trash. The Ravens, that was the Ravens with Lamar, but that was a hell of a game. And that just shows you what Lamar is capable of and how much he changes the team. Right. So Browns, the defense gave us a test at first, but we kind of pummeled them down to the ground. And that's a game I'd really like to say, hey, look at this offense and what they did at a good NFL defense, right? Bengals, same thing. Outside of Joe Burrow's getting injured, guys, this is still a good team. This is still a team that's supposed to be fighting for a Super Bowl with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson. And I don't know. I don't know their roster that well, but shit, dude, they were not an easy. I mean, that was a fierce ass team, right? And with just a key pieces, they're in a Super Bowl a couple years ago. So it's just going to be really interesting to kind of ride these out one game at a time. And that's why I truly think I get it now why these coaches say one game at a time, because it's just so hard to see how these teams evolve week over week. But I know with the Lions, at least our score, our offense, we're top there in the league with Goff. I think he's top 2 quarterback and most of all the stats. St. Brown, he's in touchdowns and receiving yards with next to Puka Nacua, who's having like a historically nasty year right now. And you got a lot of stuff going on right now. And still, we haven't talked about Hutch, right? What he did in that game from a stat sheet standpoint, you're starting to see now on the field where other guys are benefiting, right? Mohammed had his 3.5 sack performance, kind of like our James Houston of a couple years ago. Jack Campbell's evolving into a lovely, psychotic linebacker. Brian Branch, man, I love you to death, but you're still on the penalty side where you're pissing me off. And then you've got Kirby. Kirby is still on the trajectory to have Ed Reed-like numbers. I'm not saying he's Ed Reed. I'm just saying he's putting up numbers, and what Ed Reed meant to that Baltimore Ravens defense, Kirby Joseph means to this Detroit Lions defense. Okay. So I don't care who you are and if you want to rip on me for being a fanboy of him, but dude, third round pick, I believe, out of Illinois safety, and he just continues to be a workhorse and solid in an interception machine. He's quiet. He doesn't talk a lot. When he does, he talks some mad shit, which is cool. So I don't know. You guys tell me, what are you excited about as Lions fan or Detroit fans right now? And also, why aren't you watching these hockey videos that Hermdo's putting out? Jesus Christ, dude, he just put out a beautiful video where he goes through, takes you from, and I got to give this credit to the doc because he threw this idea out at me, and I texted Hermdo and said, dude, you have to do a video where you go through the 97 till now. Like, I'm a Wings fan who was a big Wings fan in the 90s, who wasn't, but now I've kind of fall off. So catch me up, take me from the nostalgic days till now. And he did it in 7 minutes, and it's really good. And as I was editing it, and I'm like, man, this is probably the one that I really enjoyed listening to the most as I was editing because it was pretty good. So you need to go and check these other videos that we're doing if you're even listening at 25 minutes in. But, this is usually the point where I start accosting Hitch, but he's still not back yet. And we're going to wait and see when he returns, if he returns, um, and if he's still a Lions fan. Actually, I think what we need to do is make a bet and say, will Hitch be here before playoffs, right? I did promise them, though. I said, if you ever do come on, I will have entrance music for you. We'll make it very grandiose. We'll really pump up your 45 minutes of rambling that you're about to bring us, which I don't know. I kind of miss sometimes. I have a whole button that I was supposed to hit every time he rambled and rambled and rambled. And now that button's just sitting there cold, 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 cold. So, yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me what you're thinking about for the rest of this Lions season. And also, too, where do you want these Tigers to be next year? I know the game is still going on. We still have a shot. Hands up if you think even if we win Seattle. Well, I just want to see hands if we have a chance in the ALCS. I'm waiting. I don't think so. Probably should have used the crickets button right now, but it's just like, you can't tell me, as much as I like this team, you can't tell me that this team is built for the postseason. See, I should have used that. I should have used that. No, this team is not a World Series team. And I don't really think baseball is Detroit anymore. I don't think it's a destination team. I don't really see, I don't really see it as an option for some of these free agents to go, man, I really want to go be a Tiger. Bregman, I don't think he's coming here, guys. He didn't want to come here last time. What's going to make him want to come here this time? I think he just opts out of his contract with Boston to renew his contract with Boston at a new fair market value, because that's just what he's going to do. And I would have done the same thing. If anything, there's going to be a lot of guys, like I think Gilbert Torres is going to he's going to be highest bidder, right? He came here to put some numbers on the stat sheet and then audition for a bigger contract. And I don't think we're going to give him the bigger contract. And I think that he's just chasing money. Don't blame him. It would be nice to keep him, but I want people to really realistically think about who you want in these roles, because we need people that can hit the freaking ball and put it in play. I need a second baseman who can hit 250, 260. Okay. I need a third baseman who can hit 265, 270. That would be really nice. We need some guys that can bring the average of this team up so that we're not leaving so many runners in scoring position. So I don't know. The doc does, yes, can't wait for the return of Hitch. Speaking about bringing averages down, yes, when he does come on, I'll tell you what, though, the average viewership goes down. I think he insults a lot of people. I think he offends a lot of people. And I think a lot of people have a hard time paying attention to what I is real and what I is not. So, yeah, I don't know. You tell me, left or right. Maybe they're both fake. Maybe he's not even real. You ever think about that? He might just be one slow walking robot. Interesting. I wonder if someone did create Hitch as a robot, what their intentions of doing that would be for what they want to get out of that. I don't know. You tell me. Put it in the comments below. What do you think? What would you do if Hitch was a robot for you? um, but yeah, guys, this game against Kansas City is going to be interesting. This game against Seattle is going to be interesting. Overall, Detroit sports right now is in kind of an interesting period. Going back to the Tigers and the Red Wings, we have a really young team all across the board. We do. The Lions are super young. We have one of the youngest offensive lines. We have, I mean, everybody we're talking about is a first round fucking draft pick from like 2 years ago, right? So this whole Brad Holmes constructed roster is super young. The Tigers, either which way you split it, right? They're super young too. There's nobody on this team that's an aging vet. We are way past that. If anything, we need to add a little bit of youth maybe to this roster. The Red Wings, holy shit. Again, Hermdo does a great job of covering this stuff, guys, but you want to talk about what Stevie Y's done that I didn't really pay attention to is just drafting youth. Holy shit, it's just youth. Larkin's an older fella, Van Riemsdyk, but really when it comes down to it, they're young teams. The Pistons, shit, all young. Azur Thompson, I think Jalen Duren, I believe now can just drink. But you got 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds on that roster. So there's just so much youth right now here. We're not used to that. Your early Pistons or your early Tigers in the 2000s, everything was just built on veterans and money. The Lions, I think, and previously our only hope was to just pay people to come here. A whole different scale now. But that might be where we're at with the Tigers. If we really truly want us to push something, we may have to flip the script with this age thing and start paying people to come here. So I want people to think about that, put like a realistic idea on who you want as your future free agent wish list with the Tigers and the money they have to spend. And don't say Bregman at third base because Tom, he's not coming here. You can say that all you want. He's not coming here. He's a lizard man from the moon. I could take lizard man, but not from the moon. The moon requires effort, and I just don't see him taking a lot of that effort to come from the moon all the way down here. Now, maybe like an inner, like maybe like down in like what do they have, like those big pits down below where they say those lizard people live, or the small grays down in the caverns. I could see Hitch down there, dark, cold, smells. I don't know. I just don't see him doing well in space for some reason. Can you smoke in space? I know you can smoke underground, but can you smoke on the moon? That's a better question. Because if you can't smoke on the moon, he's not from the moon. I think he's from one of those like down below ancient lizard people. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me, Doc. You're the pro. You're the expert out there. Well, hey, we're hitting that point now. This is 33 minutes. I don't want to get too in depth here, guys, but we really have to give ourselves a realistic expectation for the middle chunk of this Lions season, right? I think this Lions game in Arrowhead, we win this in Arrowhead, and we come back home and we beat the Bucs at Ford Field. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let everyone take a step back after those two games and take a deep breath, because that is going to be excellent. I really want you to picture it. Now, there's a chance that we could lose one of these two games. Whether Hitch is from the moon or not, this is still, I mean, the NFL gave us back-to-back primetime. So they're telling us they believe in us. And I don't know, I haven't looked. Has anyone seen a script been leaked for the NFL yet? I haven't seen any NFL scripts leaked at all this year. So maybe that's a good thing. Because I think if I was a betting man, I'd say we're on the favorite. I think they're starting to like us. Speaking of that, let's look at DraftKings. I act like they're a fucking sponsor for me, but I want to see these odds for the Lions. We'll do some boom, boom, boom betting odds. Shout out to Adam. He was sending me all his little bets. Thank you. That's fun. I'd like to get you on here, bro, and you could start talking about living in Florida as a Lions fan. And I know you're starting to really enjoy the sports betting stuff, and you have a really good, healthy approach at it. Maybe you could come on here and talk about it. All right, so it looking like we have Detroit at Kansas City. The spread is Lions +2.5. The total on this is so the 52.5. Lions over 52.5. Oh my Lord, you definitely take the over in this game. Money line is +114 for the Lions. 2.5 +2.5 is the spread. Yeah, I would say that's actually a good healthy betting line. And if they're kind of saying exactly what I just said, right? The last 20 minutes before. High scoring shootout game. This is one of those like 36-26 games or 38-26 game, right? Where it's going to be the point differential though 2.5. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that too. The better team pulls away probably within the last 10 minutes of this game in the fourth quarter. So if the casino's telling me anything, I think this is going to be a good game if you're a Lions fan. But that's in 3 days. Something could happen. Patrick Mahomes could rob a bank. Travis Kelce could get indicted for all of that Mr. Pfizer shit. Once they find out that there's an SV 40 cancer accelerant and all that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really curious to watch my Buccaneers and these Eagles and these Vikings and Commanders, right? So I want to look at my enemy, right, for the next couple of weeks and see how they do this week too. I know we've been watching Kansas City for a while, but now our eyes are starting to look a little ahead too here in Detroit. So I think you guys as fans should start doing that too. Don't perseverate too much on this game. Don't perseverate too much on Kansas City. Don't look into the eyes, stare right into the devil, the beast that is Kansas City. So I don't know. Like and subscribe. I still don't think Hitch is a lizard man from the moon. I think he's a lizard man from like down below. I think our Tigers are going to win Game 5, ladies and gentlemen, with Tarek Skubal on the mound. But it's going to be real interesting to see how they do past that. I don't have a lot of faith, but hey, this is like one of the weakest playoff teams ever to get into the ALCS or ALDS. So I don't know. Toronto's up right now 2-1. So I would love to see the Yankees just get sent back home. Let that whole thing blow up. The Cubs did beat the Brewers, so they forced that. Now it's 2-1. That's interesting. I'm just going to assume the game hasn't even started yet, but the Dodgers already won. Just going to assume that, right? Nick Castellanos, I bet you wish you were a Tiger still. All right. Well, with that being said, I want to thank the doc for hopping in the chat. I want to thank everybody for listening, for subscribing. If you got any questions, if you got any comments, if you got any suggestions, let me know. Let Tom know. Spam the shit out of Hitch. That's all I can ask you to do. I don't even think his garage is up to code. So if any of you live out there in Grosse Pointe and you're in code enforcement, go check his shit out. I don't think it's up to code. I think you can go get yourself a nice couple tickets out of this deal. Clean up the city, right? Get him out of there. He's bringing down your property value. I can assure you that. I really positively can assure you that. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for joining me. I know this was an impromptu live, and I'm really happy that the channel continues to grow and that the Detroit Lions and all the other Detroit sports continue to grow too. So with that being said, One pride. Peace.
I thought you said I was all right, Spider. So
No, you ain't all right, Spidey. You got a lot of fucking problems.
no, I thought you said you were all right.